All right. Welcome back to another episode of NOIZ Talks with Friends. You would be episode 37. Oh my gosh.
Salute, man.
I appreciate it. Today we have I always start with we have an interesting person, but this is seriously an interesting person. I was telling him off camera, I had a perception of him. And my perception would be why are you always stale or angry or, yeah, I'll just go with those for now. And one of the main reasons why I wanted him to come on here today is, to kind of just share more of his story. Cause him and I'm not even sure how we met cause I don't know that stuff, but recently we have had a lot of conversations through basketball and all that stuff. But I do want to say that I've always had respect for you because of a lot of stuff that you have went through. But my perception just came from just looking. Like something we were talking about off camera was a lot of people create stuff because of what they see, not necessarily what they know. So I think that's something that I'm trying to, understand today is who is this guy? But for the people who don't know, who are you?
I'm Kawambee Moss.
Kawambee! Kawambee. What do you do? What are you doing? What have you done?
I wear a lot of different hats, man. I do psychiatric care, mental health, help with people. Once again,
see, even with that stuff, I never knew this stuff. That's crazy.
Man, it's all good. I graduated from Bethel University with a child psychology degree. Went into psychiatric care, and I also am a home health aide. Also, I'm trying to pick up a third job with Project Women. It's a domestic violence, helping women, get through domestic situations and stuff like that. But yeah, I do a lot of different stuff, man. I do nonprofit stuff still, helping and stuff, donating when I can. I have my baseball program, 13U and 12U, Gym City Bandits, Springfield, Ohio, and Dayton combined, man. We on the way. But it's our first year, and man, I did my camps every year, so there ain't nothing I don't do, man. I just make music. I don't know. I got a lot of different hats, man.
Is it so like when I said my perception about you? How did that make you feel? Because that's something again we were talking about off camera. So do you want to dive in that first, or do you want to dive into the questions?
Yeah, so we can get into a little bit about it, and maybe I don't know if the questions might bounce back into that.
They probably will.
Yeah, just the perception. A lot of people say that, but a lot of people ain't really around me day. A lot of people and a lot of the relationships I've built have been through sports or just pretty much sports. A lot of people don't know, I like to read. I like to do a lot of other different things, adventurous. I feel like the situations in my life that have happened have kind of closed me off to people because I've had a lot of those perceptions, but they never really have been in. People have never really been in my reality, so I kind of get that a lot. But I mean,
but how does it make you feel though? Obviously, these things are said to you, and even off camera as well. Like you said, people. The reason why I probably could look a certain way is because that story or that narrative has been told to me a lot of times by different amounts of people.
Yeah, I was saying just in this perspective of when you ain't seen somebody for a long time, you get the same questions like, how have you been? How's your brother or your sister? But they don't really care how you been. They just ask the same questions. I might get that from 10 different people, you know what I'm saying? So say, for instance, in the inner city, you come back home and a lot of guys say you're Hollywood or you're soft now all of a sudden, and you're not really like that or not really from that. You might get that from 10 different friend group of your friends, and then they're looking at you well, why don't you rock with us? Well, why don't you get back to the city? Well, the city is trash in your name. But you don't get that everywhere though. I get some people that, like you said, they still respect it and they understand what we go through, but there's some people that maybe just don't understand. I don't know. I don't really say a lot, so I guess that energy might come off as that without saying.
And do you not say a lot because you don't want to perceive people a certain way, even more? So because when people look at you, they have oh, he's angry, he's mad, he's blah blah blah. Mm-hmm. So do you stay silent because I don't want to come off of that way even more, or do you just are you just really to yourself type of person?
I think sometimes it's a lose-lose, because I think sometimes when you talk to people, they're not even really coherent to have those conversations. And
like coherent and intelligent enough to have the conversations, or just coherent?
I don't want to say not intelligent because
you can say that.
Yeah, you know
you
what I
can
mean.
say that.
Yeah,
And the only reason I say that because like
everybody
people,
has their own kind of
Right.
IQ. You know what I'm saying. So I don't want to say it not intelligent, but just everybody's not good to have those conversations with. So I understand that. So instead of going back and forth, because like that's what the thing. Like in sports, you know, I go back and forth because like for one that helped me compete. You know, because I want you to compete at your best and I compete at my best. But when we leave here, like I don't hate you, and like people be wanting to hate me. I feel like, but like when I leave, I don't think about you like your day. It don't come up like that. I just like to do that, compete, because I want you at a high level and I want to play at a high level and just like have a good time. But like some people take it and it like goes to other curricular activities, which that's cool too. You know, I don't want any problems, but if you want a problem, no problem. But you know, a lot of people perceive me a certain way, man, and that's where we from. Like everybody acts like I'm not from the city. Like I'm from the inner city, grew up in Sunset, grew up in all the same block streets that everybody else grew up in, endured more pain than I think anybody can imagine. I still overcame a lot, but I think it's just like they perceive it as angry, but it's like angry would be like what I really like. I ain't gonna say what I want to do, but like those times where, you know, you might feel a certain way towards somebody and you be like, I can react this way. I think about it like, man, it's not worth it. You know what I'm saying? And that's even in like the argumentative stage before it even gets to physical. Like it ain't even worth it, because sometimes the ops is also the police too. So it's kind of
facts.
backwards out here.
So I mean, so do you does it still bother you though that people perceive you that way? Like I think you're answering around the question, but I don't know if you actually answered the question.
Oh, my bad. We can cut the whole. Yeah.
No, we're not cutting up, bro.
Yeah, okay, my bad for sure. But I don't. It doesn't bother me. I was just saying like all of that to say I don't think people really. You just got to be around me to understand that there's more to me than just the athlete, because I think that's what they see. It's like just a sport.
But do you want people to actually understand you more than that? Because it's different. It's different to say that, you know, people perceive me this way, but then they don't get that way. But if you're not open enough to want to be perceived a different way, like, you know what I mean? So like do you want people to?
But I think the people that are open to see me is kind of the people that get to see me, like my brothers, my siblings, my kids in the community. Like there's a lot of other people that get to see the other side of me that's not athlete related. I think a lot of guys perceive me from the athlete, and the athlete strictly just like Mamba mentality. You know, I want to kill. I'm in kill mode because everybody didn't believe in me in any sport I played. Honestly, and I had to build that kind of character because my mom didn't come to my games. My dad, you know, they had to work and stuff. So I kind of built that up on the sports realm. And a lot of guys know me through the sports realm, but they don't know me in real life.
But do you want them to know you? That's what I'm asking.
If you want to, that's what I'm saying.
Do you want them to know you?
I mean, no, it doesn't bother. No, it doesn't really bother me if they do or not, because I'm not doing anything I don't date any of them. I'm not doing it for any justification for anybody. My guys that are really locked in and really have been around me, that really get to know Kawambee, like I feel like we have a better understanding to where they're like, I ain't gonna say a pretty dope guy or nothing, but I think they understand that I do a lot more for my community and my family than baseball Kawambee.
So the people around you day to day, they know you, but let's say for example, I'm not a random person, but I know of you. If I were like, hey Kawambee, I would love to know you on a more personal level. Yeah. Would you be open to that only because I'm asking, or because you actually want to be open? That's what I'm asking.
I feel like but that's what I'm saying. I'm open either way, but I feel like I'm open when I first meet a person. Like if somebody wants to meet me, like I'm genuinely, like I'm not doing it for any type of, for you to come aboard or for you not to. I'm just doing it just to meet you. Like when I first meet somebody, I just try to give you good energy. Like if we're playing, like when we're playing sports and stuff, you know, we're in there playing pickup, people take that and they run with it and take it outside. I've never ever beefed with anybody in any type of anything other than a basketball. Or right. Like that's real talk facts, though. That's a fact. Real talk. I've never had any type of, nobody said I stole no money from them. I've never had any back and forths about any females. Like none of that. I've never had that come up in my name, first off. So I don't know where that vendetta of he's so angry and stuff is, because none of them even kick it with me on a daily basis. But if you come around me and I'm with my kids or something, you know, they have a different perception of me. You know what I'm saying? So that matters to me. Of the people that really get to know me on a deeper level, you might not get that.
So I think where people are getting at is like when people look at me, like they're like, oh, he's smiley, he's jolly, he's blah 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 blah. But because your face is so like you know, that doesn't, I'm not gonna say it doesn't show emotion, but you look emotionless. That's where they kind of get it. Yeah. And I'm not saying that in a way where I'm like, that's who you are. I'm just saying, again, perception is a thing. That's all I'm trying to say.
Have you ever heard they use your kindness for weakness?
You said say it again?
Have you ever heard they use your kindness for weakness?
They use your kindness for weakness? Is that how people use you?
I mean, not me per se. I'm just saying, like you said, I'm emotionalist, though. Right. I mean, what do you want me to do? Smile all the time?
No, and that's what
everybody got a different perception of life.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying how people view you could look that way. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So, like, when I think about when people perceive people, I always say everything goes off of perception. But to your point, like you're saying that in order for them to have a true idea of who you are, they just have to basically have a sit down.
No, not basically have a sit down. I just feel like just being in the environments I'm actually in. Like I feel like the only realms people only really know me in
is like athletics.
Athletics. That's it. I don't think really nobody really comes around. Like I don't even remember. Like we were talking earlier. Like I said, I don't think I did 3 camps. I don't think one of my so-called friends, you know, guys that I know in the community, even brought a kid a case of water. So I don't really know where the relationships or stuff been or what's going on, but I know the people that are locked in with me know who I am, and I do a lot for not only myself but like my city and my family as well. So like I don't know. I don't do it for me, man. I don't feel like life's about you. I feel like that's what death is. Like in reality, I feel like death is when you get your time, because like he promised us eternal life. But on the earth, I feel like you're supposed to do stuff for others. And when you see that, I don't really, anything I've ever did for somebody, man, I did it for me. I didn't do it for you. You know what I mean? In a way, like I wanted to help you or something, maybe, or whatever, but it was never for any monetary gain. I just knew like that's the type of genuine person I am.
Are you tired now though? Like now that because like that's something that we were talking about off camera was like, you know, I do respect you as far as like you doing so much for the city, but and not necessarily that you didn't get anything back, but because you're constantly giving and maybe there's no growth. Yeah. Are you tired because of that, or are you tired at all? Am I just asking a dumb question?
No, it ain't a dumb question. That's a great question because I mean, even my like close circle asked me that a lot too. Like, you know, a lot of the people that I have a lot of love for that give me honest feedback. Like, man, you do a lot. Like, and a lot of people don't give back, but man, there's always a diamond in the rough. That's why I do it for the kids, because I feel like, you know, if I can just help one or two, and I've said that in multiple interviews I've had in the past, is if I can help one or two kids, man, just they could be me, you know what I mean, or bigger than me, you know what I mean, and that's all I wanted when I was a kid, so I just try to give that same perspective. But as a collective whole, it does get tiring at times because I feel like there's a lot of people in the community that talk and don't walk the walk, and I did that multiple times in the community, but I feel like we'll be a lot better together, you know, so if people really wanted to help out, I'd be all for it. But
and how do you think we get there? I mean, obviously it's easy to say, you know, it's all come together and work together, but you know, there's egos, there's drama, there's all that stuff, so it's like if there was something that we could work on together to get there, how do you think we go about it? And then we'll go into the questions after that.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave it at this, bruh. I can say it in the honest ways possible. If your role changed, would you remain the same? In any aspect, like if we had to do something as a team, if your role changed, would you say the same? If everybody can have that mindset and that mentality that no matter if I'm Michael Jordan or you Scotty, or if you Michael and I'm Scotty, we could do it. But if nobody has that mind, if you don't go in with that mindset, you're not going to get out of it. And I feel like that just in a sports mentality, that's just what it taught me. It's just a lot of people don't have that teamwork mentality. It's more like, what can I get out of this? And I'm
the boss. You listen. X, Y, and Z. Money, hustle. Gotcha. Wow. Okay. Finally going to the questions, bro.
Yeah, this already started out pretty good.
Finally going to the questions.
Let's do the questions, man.
Okay, so for people who don't usually tune in, this is NOIZ.I Talks with Friends. I'm your host, NOIZ.I TV, or NOIZ.I whatever. Today I'm here with Mr. Kawambee Moss, episode 37. We do a series of questions at the interview. We have no idea what they are. Just creates genuine, good conversation. Today I do have 6 questions. So, Mr. Kawambee, are you ready?
Yes, sir. SLDD.
Okay. And you want to tell people what that means? Or do you want to wait?
SLDD. No, we can do it now.
Okay.
SLDD, I post it all the time for my family. They know, but it's Smile Like DD. That was my cousin that passed away about 2 years ago in a mass shooting. She was brutally killed. So we say that every day because that's what she was to us. She was our bright light, and she smiled every day through her pains and days. She was always happy. So that's another segue to angry, but we'll talk about that later.
Wow. Yeah, I'll hold my questions. Question number one. As we spoke before, the year of 2020 or maybe going into 2021 was a tough one for you. Could you walk us through what all you experienced in those years? You went through a lot of loss.
Yeah.
I guess still currently going through loss and grief. And because like you graduated from different from colleges and trying to get a good job to it as far as for baseball, like, and then having to come back because of so many losses. Like, how did you navigate? How did you do it? How did you?
So that's why. Do you want me to go back to?
That's up to you.
Yeah, okay.
This is your story. I don't want to create it for you.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it. But like we talked off air, but like even college, like going in and just having the COVID year. I just came back from my All-American year. I was a junior. I hit 370, 72. I stole like 21, 22 bases, hit 3 hole. Was having a good year. Came back that next year. We were 11-0 in the conference. Ended up going into the fall regular season, and then we went into conference play and stuff. And we were about 19-5. COVID-19 happened. Thought I was going to go to the MLB. We had 40 rounds. I was in like the 15, 20-ish, just as far as what they were saying. The season didn't even get, halfway through. And I went from maybe a lottery pick, middle guy pick, to not at all. And had to go back to school the next year. And we went from the next year to having 40 rounds in the draft to 20. So I went from a middle of the pack of guy to now I'm last rounder guy. You know what I mean? And they already took 35 rounds out the last year, so I had to figure out something else. Like, what am I going to do? There's a lot of other guys that have agents and stuff, and I just didn't know how to politic in that realm. So I went overseas and played and got to play in PR and stuff like that. But, back to the losses. Experienced my first big loss was my Uncle Von passing away. That was my mentor that called me every single day. We talked about baseball, life, whatever. He was a vet in this, so he helped me with a lot of stuff in my life. But I lost him to COVID. That kind of really, that's what I came back for, was his funeral, actually, and I just never left. Right after that, I had my cousin De'Arion's, and I was always training to get back to where I wanted to, like which organization and stuff, so I had a couple workouts in between, but just never really picked up the spark of baseball no more because I just had so many losses. So I feel like a lot of that stuff, even with my Uncle Nate passed away right after that. Dee passed away first, and then that was really traumatic for all of us.
And I'm sorry to cut you off, but and Nate, correct?
Yeah, he passed away. That's what I was going to say. He passed away 2 weeks after De'Arion.
Okay,
so
yeah.
That was kind of heartfelt. And just to all my brothers, man, it goes out to them too. We had some very close losses with Destiny Wells and J.R. Wells as well. And my guys know it's all love with that, but yeah, we lost some people like that as well through in the middle of this. So my brother, Jeff Wellington, we lost him, but we also lost his brother, Mike, too, as well, in the shooting. So we've had a lot of losses, as you can tell, but a lot of that stuff has taught me structure, it's taught me loyalty, and it's taught me who really was in my corner, because after the funerals and after people die, you really get the calls and the texts and stuff kind of slow up. Life goes back to whatever it is, and everybody goes back to their lifestyles and stuff. But the people that's really locked in still, they help me and motivate me every day. Even if it's not baseball, that's my purpose. I've found other purposes in my life.
So do you think that, like, I mean, obviously you just said, with those losses, it helped you create structure and all that stuff, but have you actually had time to sit with those feelings? I mean, obviously, like, you went to like a bunch of funerals and all that stuff, and that's something I was talking about. But another person was like, losses, death, shootings, and all that stuff, whatever. A lot of trauma is just normal, and for a person who doesn't have like a lot of, I guess, violent trauma or like death trauma, I can't understand it. So for someone who I don't want to say goes through it normally, but who has experienced it. How do you deal with that? Is it just like, okay, this happened, let me just stay tough and move on? Like how does Kawambee move on or move through?
Kind of processing it with myself. I feel like a lot of people in my household look at me as the strong one, so I try to be strong and try to be positive for everyone else. And it does get hard for me mentally at times, and that's where the anger thing kicks in, because I build up this mantra of, I ain't gonna say the mantra of I gotta be tough, but I am though. Like, I've literally built for whatever comes my way. So it's not like I'm trying to, like, that's really what I am though. Like, I'm really built for it, but I've experienced it to tell you that I've built for it. You know what I mean? And I feel like a lot of people say, like, you know, you never been through this, or you never been street. I'll be like, what street then? Like, what do you want me to get locked up, or you want me to kill somebody? Like, I don't know what their rating is, so I don't see myself in that realm. I just try to keep doing life as it is. I don't really do it for like I was saying earlier, I don't do it for people to come see me. I try to live my life the best way possible. When I try to get, you know, my calms in, I'm a Cancer, so I like to be by myself. And I've learned that too. Like, even girls right now, just went through that process, was just not for me. I needed to just be by myself, because I feel like when you're going through pain, a lot of people, if they don't know them or don't experience that too, they kind of forget about it, and daily, like you said, life keeps going on, and it kind of gets in your way too. So I am learning how to be more, I think, going through my pain more isolated though too.
Are you
just being taking a step back?
Are you emotionally intelligent with yourself? Does that make sense?
I feel like I'm emotionally intelligent with myself, but I love so hard that I try to stay in situations even when it's not okay for me. For my personal emotion. It might be good for everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Everything else, even my friendships, like, it might be good in your, you know, on your side, but on my side, I might be getting the short end of the stick, and I, you know.
So how do you deal with that? How do you walk through that?
How do I walk through it? I'm learning to, like I said, love the ones that really love me, and not who I love. I'm starting to learn who loves me.
So if you take that out of it, if you take the aspect of people out of it, when you're just sitting by yourself, and you have those emotions, how do you deal with that? How do you walk through it? That's what I'm asking.
How do I mean, when I go through my emotions day to day, I just try to see what God's telling me. I think, like I told you earlier, I feel like you meet people for different reasons. You do stuff. I try to be very visual with my day and kind of try to see, like, what God's trying to tell me. I know all the time I'm not always right, though. You know what I mean? I know I act out of my own emotion and not what He wants me to do, but sometimes I feel like I am acting off of what He wants me to do, and my purpose I could tell by, I don't know, just good energy, man. You just be broke one day, or not even broke, but I'm not going out of the house with nothing but 20, and then you come back and you might have $40 or something, or, you know, God just works in mysterious ways, man. I don't know. I might be having a bad day or something, and just be like, I want to be alone. I might just go to the store for a second. Somebody might break my day just by the conversation we have or whatever. I just feel like, I don't know, God, man. I feel like whatever He's putting me through right now, I deserved it, and I need to learn from it, like, in any chaos or deaths or anything. Like,
so I want to challenge you, challenge your thinking, just because. So I want to give a big shout out to my mom. My mom is a person that, like, really challenges me with how I'm starting to view God, just because, like, excuse me, like, I was in the church a lot, but because I was forced to be, and, like, I kind of grew out of it because, like, people. I don't know how you were raised as far as, like, God and all that stuff, but they taught us that you need to fear God all the time. Like, if you don't do this, God's gonna kill you. God's gonna blah, blah, blah. You're gonna burn in hell forever, whatever. So then, you know, I started learning that, you know, God is loving, God is peace, God is joy. Yeah. So, like, getting back into the relationship with God has been a real struggle with me, just because of worldly stuff. Yeah. But when it comes to, because something you said was, oh, please come back from me. Oh, yeah. Like you just trusting God. So something my mom said was, like, do you think that every decision you make is something that God, is every decision that you make, do you think that it's something that God wants?
Predetermined.
I'm like, okay. And she's like, you know, we can go super basic. Just give me a scenario. I was like, okay. Like, let's say I have a bowl of Fruity Loops and a bowl of Frosted Flakes. Okay. And she was like, okay, which one are you going to choose? I was like, well, whatever one I want to choose. But she was like, did God tell you to get that cereal in the first place? I'm like, interesting. So then it kind of goes back to, like, you know, is your faith strong enough to where you trust God in every aspect or because of human nature, do you just naturally just make decisions just because you do it? Does that make sense?
No, I trust God because I've been at the lowest point of my life multiple times and I've seen him pull me out. Like I've been at multiple situations where I lost my girl and my friends switched up and nobody believed in me and everybody thought I wasn't going to be this, good at baseball or whatever. I'm going to go to college and just be a regular average Joe. Like, didn't nobody think I was going to go to college and make no noise like that. You know what I'm saying? Didn't nobody think my brother or my sister was going to do what they did. Like, that's what we strive for. That's why we say 100K, you know what I mean, for the team. They know what's going on. But it's 100% effort, 365 days a year. And I stole the K from 2K. You know how they put the K, and that means yearly. So that's why we do that, man. And we tell each other that all the time, and that just motivates us to stay original. We try to be original, man, at the end of the day.
So, and I don't mean to cut you off. You're talking about more circumstances. I'm talking about just blindly trusting God just because, like, as far as like day-to-day decisions. I'm not trying to
day-to-day. Yeah, I get what you're saying, but I'm saying on day-to-day decisions, I feel like I don't feel like they're that's a tough one. I don't think
just answer how you want to.
I don't think they're predetermined, but I think I don't think we're predetermined, but I think we do have choice. Like you said, like we could either go here or there. So I know there's certain situations that, as a man, me and you, for example, I might argue with you, for example, in any situation about something, not sports, but like we might get into altercation. Yeah. And when I come home, I might sit by myself and be like, yeah, I wasn't right. You know what I'm saying? But I'm man enough to also apologize to people and say when I'm not right either too. Like, hey, bro, whatever. Or even if I've had multiple altercation with guys off to the side, like, hey, I might not have did that right. So I'm not saying, that's what I'm saying. We have a choice to do what God's purpose and what we want to do. And I feel like that's where I am doing better at life, is trying to dictate and pick what I like to do, but it might not be God's view too.
And how big of a struggle is that? Because obviously human nature is a thing, natural nature is a thing. So like when you are having to have that choice and free will, it's like, we want to tell God, okay, God, I believe in you, I trust in you, thank you. Yeah. But like, there's also this choice over here, God. So like, why is this choice here if I should be picking this choice? So like how do you view that? And then we'll go on to the next question.
I don't keep asking God why though. That's the same thing. That's the same thing. Sure. That's the same. That's basically like saying that's why. You know what I mean? Because if I did that, then I would do that with everything in my life. So I try to not do that, because even with the deaths, like I'd be like, why? But like even through those situations, like every situation, man, like they all taught me how to move, how to operate. And it taught me lessons. Like, I didn't want it to be them, for sure. Absolutely. Like, you ask me that every day. Like, for sure, I didn't want that to go how it went. But it taught me something, and that's what I want to do. Like, I want to do so much stuff that when I perish, my siblings, at least, like, I have something for y'all to pick the ball up on and, you know what I'm saying, go towards or motivate towards, other than something negative. Like, you know what I mean? I want y'all to be able to be like, bruh, I did this, but I got to do this. You know what I'm saying? And as long as I'm living with that type of purpose, I'm good with life, man. I did everything everybody said I couldn't do in life at 26 years old. So for me, I'm still trying to find goals. But like when I was a kid, man, everything I checked, I wrote on my wall every day what they said I wasn't gonna do. I graduated college. I made it out of high school. I lived in another, country. You know what I mean? I played pro ball, like regardless of what you say. You know what I'm saying? And I was the last hitter on my freshman team in high school. So they didn't believe in me, but it's all love, but they didn't, I did a lot.
This is a great segue, because I like to understand sports. Yeah. Because I played in high school, that crap is fun, whatever. But for a person who actually took it more serious than I do, how I'm going to ask this question, it's not going to be offensive, but just understand why I'm asking it. Right. Going into question number 2, growing up around sports all of your life, how crippling was it for you to think that sport was the only way out? And like, I'm not saying that to say that was your only decision, but you made it your only decision in a sense. Yeah. So like for you to be like, cause like it's very interesting to see a person who is very into athletics. So like they kind of relate everything athletic, but that was their whole life. Yeah. So for a person who was maybe not even taught, but who made a decision to make that their life, like how has it been to like not have anything that's not sport related in your head?
Nah, I mean, I still have sport related stuff in my head because we're a sports family, so I always stay locked in with the athletics. But as far as not having to play and be physically like on the court every day to day, I love it because you gotta like people don't know how to separate the athlete from the person. Like
do you think you're doing that now? Because again, perception,
Yeah.
I only see athlete Kawambee.
Yeah.
So like this is like the first human Kawambee I've seen.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, I think I like that because people get a better understanding, a different perspective of me, but also kind of learning like what to like giving people access to as well, because everybody doesn't deserve it, because everybody doesn't have the intelligent, you know what I mean, capacity to have those conversations. But I love it though because it's also getting them to know that there's another side of me than swinging this bat or hooping or football or anything. Like I love those sports things, but it's man on man. Like when you play a sport, you'll get it, but if you don't, you know what I'm saying, I don't want to argue. But even with music, like, you know, it's competitive. Like you want to be the best for sure. But like when I leave here, bro, I might hop on the game. I ain't played a game in the whole year yet though. But you know, when I was younger, you know, I played a game or, you know, do other stuff, man. Like I had a lot of other like stuff I enjoyed to do, man. Go with my friends, man. We would go do silly stuff, throw eggs at cars, or, you know, little kid stuff that we weren't supposed to be doing, but it was more than sports to me. And I feel like a lot of people know me from that. So they try to, I know him. No, you don't.
Do you have a non-sport I'm sorry, do you have a non-sport mindset now? Because again,
yeah,
it kind of does resort back to the same, which is not a bad thing, but I'm just trying to understand. You said that you are a sports family, and I definitely get that.
Yeah.
But maybe, and you could definitely correct me if I'm wrong, if that's not your life right now, why are you still in there?
Okay. Yeah. So
just in your life specifically, not your family, not anybody else, just your life specifically.
I do it because I feel like I still want to grow the game. Like losing my Uncle Vaughn and my Uncle Nate. My Uncle Nate was trying to do Miller's Elite basketball, and my Uncle Vaughn coached for 40, 50 years down at Dayton Ave. So I do that because I want to keep their name alive. So that's why I stay in that realm of that, so I can answer that for that perspective of that mantra. But as far as any other sports, I'm really out of it in the back door. I just kind of did it for Dayton Avenue because I'm from the city, and when I was a kid, I always wanted to do that, man. And I want to do something with Champion City or buy it eventually and give kids for the inner city a better opportunity because there's kids that need opportunity too in the inner city. And I feel like they don't get enough of that recognition. So that too is a little thing that burns inside of me because I was an inner city kid and I know how that experience is and stuff.
And then when you do look at how sports are, how they make look black men, and especially in the inner city, like, you know, they're kind of looked at as a trophy, or whatever. When you have already been in that area, now you're kind to now you're trying to teach the little kids discipline. How do you teach them business away from sport? Because, like, you know, something that, you know, we talked about is how all these kids are getting NIL deals, and not saying that they don't deserve them, but like a lot of them don't know business from sport, or they don't know money from career. You know what I mean? So like how do you navigate that?
What we was talking about earlier, like I was saying, like it's different for me because when I went to college, like we didn't have NIL. Like that was like happened a year after me. So that was a big transition for me to learn, and having a little brother that's in that now is kind of, I'm learning a lot more and having to ask him questions and stuff because I didn't have that perspective. But I do think it's a calm medium because I feel like we do put a lot of effort into college and stuff to get to that next level if you're good enough to go pro. But everybody doesn't make it there, even if you're really good. You know, we have different situations. People, you know, drop out of school or get injured. You know, there's different ways where you can get out of that. But I think they're doing a better job now of getting kids. Like I know some kids have agents or something and stuff like that. So I think they're doing a better job with it. But that is a lot of money to start. Like there's some kids making some crazy numbers. So I like to question their why sometimes. Like, do you do it for the attention of the money, or do you do it because you want to be an athlete sometimes? But some kids, you know, handle it really well. Some don't. So, you know, they're young. And I've been young and, you know, got my stipend money back in college and thought I was rich, you know what I mean? So we all go through that, man. But, yeah, being at the top of the mantra, man, when everybody loves you and stuff and you got all this money and stuff, man, like, you know, you can have all the money, all the drinks, you know, all the girls and stuff, but are you happy? You know what I mean? And I've experienced that, and it's cool and all for a little while, but, you know, it ain't.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people And I'm specifically talking about Springfield people. So like, if y'all get mad, I don't care. So like when people had those glory days in high school.
You about to get me banned, bro.
You said what?
You about to get me banned from the city.
Man, who cares, bro? This ain't.
I don't want no beef, man.
I want beef. If y'all got a problem with me, step up. I don't care, bro. The reason, I mean, because that's where we're from. So like, you know, people who had glory days, people who had whatever, they messed it up because of decisions. They messed it up because they didn't understand business. They messed it up because they didn't understand career. So when you're at the position now where it's like your name held in high school and now it's starting to fall off, why do they get to a place where it's like, now I have to move deceitful. Now I have to treat people like, oh, you weren't there for me? Oh, blah, 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 blah. Talk about it, Kawambee, bro. Come on.
I don't know why they do that. But yeah, that does hurt.
But you see it, though.
That does hurt
like,
my feelings, though, because I feel like when I was, any situation I was always going up, I always had my hand down. And I feel like situations taught me, you know what I'm saying? Like, you keep putting your hand down there, it's going to burn you. So I just learned through my situations and stuff of, like you saying, of deceitfulness and friends doing me wrong. Like, even to this day, I struggle with that because I want to show so much love to people. Like, we can do this together as a team. Like, but I know in reality, like, it's not that though. Not with everybody.
So with the reality of doing stuff as a team, I get that. But do you also believe that you just being you is enough?
Yeah, because I feel like I was saying earlier, that's why I don't do anything for a monetary or for you to, hey, come be my friend or anything. If you want to, that's cool. But like, I feel like a lot of people, when you try to do that, that's what gets you in that realm. And I try to stay away from it because it's like, if I'm trying to do anything for you to see, like, I don't do any, like, I'm me regardless. If you like me, cool. If you don't, cool. Like, I'm fine with that. But because if God made me how I am, you know what I mean? But I feel like through situations and through certain things in my life, it may have molded me into something different. I might have felt different 2 years ago, or I was probably a different Kawambee. I was a completely different Kawambee 4 or 5 years ago than I feel like I am now. But it's been through situations, dialogue, you know, pain, stuff happening to me and stuff. And I don't know, people just be like, oh yeah, I know him since he was a kid, but like, I'm way different than that kid. You know what I mean? So I try to kind of have that understanding for them when they're doing stuff like that. Like, maybe they'll grow out of it, but if they don't, I got to keep going here. You know what I mean? Like Snoop Dogg said, like, you know, this is the gap as you grow. Watch how they grow and you don't. You know what I'm saying? I try to keep that perspective. Like, if I'm still going up, I know I tried to help you. You did me wrong. You finished. But I helped you. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I know, like, I can't double back, though, for sure.
So when you look at the city that you grew up in.
I'm scared of this question, boy.
No, I'm literally just asking.
Okay.
So like when you look at the city that you grew up in, all the people and all the names, blah 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 blah. What have they actually done outside of glory days
for the city, or just like for their life, or what?
For their life in general. And the reason why I challenge that is because, like, Springfield people, you can hate me. I've had beef with this city ever since I was born there, just because I'm one of the people who was an outcast because of who I was. So, like, for people like Kawambee, because he was a part of athletics, because he was a part of all that stuff, they gravitated towards that. But for someone who was on the, I guess, more artsy side, music, wanted to do streaming, wanted to do photography, wanted to do whatever, I was looked at as weird. I was looked at as the white boy. I was looked at as, but I'm like, we literally look alike. We got the same big nose, we got the same forehead, the same skin. So it's like, I think that's where my beef comes from. Yeah. But when you look at the different sides, like, are you able to, I guess, acknowledge that, or because you're so deep ties in with people or with sports that you only see this? Did that make any sense at all? I
feel like even an athlete, though, has to go through that same, because, like, you know, you ain't really gonna never really get the respect from the streets or whatever, because they think you ain't. It just depends on how high you get up. When you get super high up, everybody says they know you. You know, if you make it there and then you come back, you know, they might. It just depends on the situation. Somebody might say they know you for a monetary game. Some people don't. It's all love, but.
But where did respect from streets have to do about anything to our lives? That's what I don't understand.
Yeah.
Because, like, you know, people are like, well, you're not from the hood.
Well, I was just saying that. Yeah, I was just saying that due to what you were saying, like, as far as how they're treating you.
Yeah, and I'm just saying that in general. Like, okay, like, where do they even come from? Like the whole idea of because I'm not hood or from the street that I don't care.
I just don't understand what dialogue or what guideline. Like, I don't understand who made the dialogues. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
There's just like certain people in the city that really don't do anything for the body, but have like say so. Like, and that's scary. Yeah.
And say so doesn't do anything, but say so.
Yeah, right, yeah. I mean, but there are some people. That's what I'm saying. The people that are in the city doing stuff, they know what's up. They know it's all love for me. Like, I love my city for sure. But there are people that do rub me the wrong way sometimes. But I just mind my business, man, because when you get to trying to tell people stuff, they get to trying to fight, and I don't want to do all that. If you're not helping the city, you're hurting it, and that's just how I feel in any aspect of the world. If you're not helping it, you're hurting it in any way that you're talking about. So
do you think that people who are putting on these small events, who are doing these whatevers, it's actually helping, or do you only think they're doing it for personal gain? Because I think there's a difference between giving people experience, but then be like, okay, but this made me look good on the internet, though. You know what I mean? Come on, Kawambee.
Who doing that? I mean,
come on. You said who doing that? I will name him. I will name him.
Whoa, I ain't trying to.
I will name him.
I don't know who.
I ain't gonna say nothing.
Yeah, I don't know who. I don't know what events you're talking about in particular. But I know that.
Yeah.
I know that there are some events in the city that I feel like they're very good in the collective, but I also do think there also are some for clickbait. Just being honest, and I attend all of them just to show support. So I'm not. That's the thing. I still go,
bruh. No, so that's
real love.
That's just as bad as you going.
How?
Because you show support, but then be like, well, I think you do it for clickbait. It's just as bad as you going, bro.
Nah, because I actually want to see the event and see like I'm going to let you come to fruition and see if it really comes to how you're saying it is. But there has been some events, and I'm not just talking about events as meaning
just in general. It doesn't matter.
Just in general. You know what I mean? Like like any event people have thrown. There's been events that I know that they were doing it for money or whatever.
So why show support though? If you know
because at the end of the day, if it blows up for the city, it blows up for the city. I'm not a hater, bro. Like that's the thing.
That don't make sense. I ain't gonna lie. That don't make sense. Like you're showing support because of who the person is, but
no, not because of the person.
Because of what?
Because of just whatever it is. If it's a party, if it's a art event, if it's a basketball tournament at camp, I'll still show support and come to the event. But
if you know the intention behind it, you're still gonna show support. That don't make sense.
Because I would rather show support than be in the middle of all.
Or just don't show it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I guess I'm challenging you with why do you think you have to show support?
Because you never learn any of that stuff if you never go through it. So like,
learn what?
That those situations are clickbait or those situations are bad situations. You know what I mean? Being in those situations, you can never be in them if you're never in them.
But from the stuff that you actually know.
So once I learned that, I don't go to no more. But I'm saying like I have been guilty of attending those events in the past.
I thought
like you were saying, like I've been guilty of attending those in the past, knowing that they were for that, but I didn't know that maybe not going into it.
That's what I thought.
You know what I mean? But seeing it like,
this
ain't it.
I thought you're saying like, okay, I see this, I know the intention of it, but I'm still gonna go.
I thought we were just talking about past experience. I did though, just because of how you said like you were saying how they previously treated you and you have beef with Springfield. I thought you were just saying like past events. Ain't no really recent events happen that I've attended, but there's been some that I feel like that have been clickbait for sure.
I'm gonna pray for y'all out there. We're gonna move on. Question number 3.
He might say something crazy.
I was, but I ain't gonna hurt your feelings today.
No smoke,
question number 3. Influence on younger siblings has impact on their lives. How have you both positively and negatively impacted your siblings? And especially, I'm gonna let you answer the question.
I think I positively affected them because I taught them that no matter what anybody else says about you, that you gotta believe in you. So I feel like I've taught my siblings like to be themselves, and even with us, like our relationships, like Raheem or Jayon might not like something that I like, or vice versa. But negatively, I just feel like maybe just the talks, you can't really filter everything you have them around or not. So there's certain situations I feel like I wish I could do better, but negatively I don't really think it's nothing negative, because I think we locked in as far as we have great dialogue on the experiences I've been through that they shouldn't go through. We've had them very young, so
I guess like when I say negatively, so like for example, I have a brother who lives in Texas. He's a younger brother. He's 12, I want to say, or 11, I want to say. And I think how I've affected him negatively is showing him the relationship that I have with my dad, and then now showing the relationship I have with him. So I don't talk to him as much. At first, I didn't talk to my dad as much. To your
dad, are you saying?
Yes, okay. Either or, my dad or my brother. So like me being the example of not communicating to each other when we know that not necessarily like we're all that we have, but we have like we're family at the end of the day.
Right.
So me not reaching out to my little brother is affecting him negatively because like there were times where like I would get like random FaceTime calls like in the middle of the night because like Texas is a different what is that called, time zone, whatever. Yeah. So I get random FaceTime calls. I'm like, who is this? What is this email freaking FaceTime me at the middle of the night? It's him asking me, hey, I'm about to go to the school dance. Like, can you help me? Blah, 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 blah. And in my mind, like, I'm crying. I'm not going to do it on camera. Like, not on camera. Like, I'm not going to do it on FaceTime because, like, this is his way of showing or trying to have a relationship. Yeah. So that's why I feel like I've negatively impacted him. And like even though you said as far as like dialogue and all that stuff, it's not negative because we're locked in. But maybe you have shown examples of what not to do, and they saw it and did it. Do you have anything like that? If not, cool. But
I mean, I could say it as far as like how to act on the. I mean, I really won't. I mean, I don't really think, because for me, my perspective of how I play the game of sports is different than everybody else's, because I feel like in my perspective, my career, I never got like, everybody always thought I wasn't going to be anything, so I had that like Mamba like mentality. So I didn't really show them that. I just built that inside of me because I was trying to show that I was good enough to get the opportunity. So I feel like with them, we have a great relationship. So I don't really feel like, I feel like the only thing I can really say is probably the perception of being, I mean, the angry thing, but the same way I see it, the angry thing is the same way they see it.
So like,
they feel the same way as far as like what I feel like.
And like even with that, because you guys have such good dialogue and that stuff, have you ever expressed to them how to handle or express emotions? Like we hug every time I see my sibling. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people don't do that. Yep. Okay, to my man Dilly Brad, and even with her, even with him, me and him have a great relationship. Like that's what I'm saying. Like the people that really get access to me, they know what's up, man. It's all love. Even some of the younger ones, you know what I mean? Like it's always love. Like before they even really was like, you know what I'm saying, engaged. Like he came in my sister would go to class or wherever she had to go, and he would kick it with me and play the game or look at my wall. And I got all my college letters of all the schools that ever recruited me and stuff all over my wall. He'll ask me stuff, man, like, what about this school? What'd you like about this one? Did you go to this one? Like, he looked at that when he was really young, you know what I mean? So there's a lot of kid, like he ain't a kid now, you're a grown man, but there's a lot of, younger guys like that I've, tried to give good dialogue to and have great relationships with positively. Negatively, the only negative things I can say is telling them the experiences I've been through, because I try to be an open book and try to be open to them and be honest, because a lot of people think social media is real life, and it's not. Like, this is reality. Like, I want to teach them, what could go wrong, what could go right, you know what I mean? If risk in life, you know what I mean? You got to take a risk to do anything in life. I don't care if it's sports, rap, you're going to have to take a risk. And if you don't want to take a risk, you ain't going to get no reward. So, and then how important was it for you to kind of be an example of being a collegiate athlete? Like, I'm not saying, but being a student in college is not necessarily like frowned upon in the black community, but it's not necessarily heard of, quote unquote. Yeah. So, you being an example, and now your brother and now your sister are now being examples of that. How proud are you? Or how, like, that you get to see them be collegiate athletes, like that they're going to graduate, and it's not just sports, it's also their career, it's also their livelihood. So like how proud are you of that?
I am extremely proud of myself, just because in reality, what people really don't know, my close family doing stuff like that too, like even my siblings, I wanted to make music when I was young. So my dream, like big dream, and even now still, is like I wanted to make music. So people like think baseball is my first love. Like, my mom introduced us to sports early. We played soccer, football, basketball, and baseball. I was good at all four of them. Three of them, football, basketball, and baseball. Soccer, I didn't really put as much effort and work in, but I was good at it as well. But once I got older, I just picked what sport I was good at. My uncle Nate played basketball. Everybody compared him to me, so I hated it out the gate. Like I was like, I ain't really trying to do that. So that's what kind of separated baseball and football for me. Football, I was good at that too, but I did all of that off of just pure talent. Nobody taught me. Nobody took me and taught me how to backpedal, how to read zone coverages or anything like that. I learned that once I got older and did it myself. So my parents were very influential in putting us in sports, but like not like when we got home, they just let us be us. And that's what I'm saying. Like as far as like with people, they know me from sports, but like when I go home, like and the cleats is off and I'm kicking in, like with the family and stuff, man, like it's a different energy, you know what I mean? But I also have those times where I am, very in an aggressive mood, but that's because I feel like I'm the protector of my camp, you know what I mean? Just as a male figure, I feel like in the community, inner city, you have to be that. And times, like you said, we have to grow. Sometimes I go in some places, I'm like, man, I ain't even speak to nobody. But it's like sometimes that's just a product of my environment too. Where
and then sorry, kind of going back to the question of being proud of your brother and sister, because your brother is in his final year in college and your sister's in her second year. Mm-hmm. So like kind of looking at them in college, like is there anything that you hope for their career or for when they graduate, when everything is all said and done? And I hate to say that because I don't want to make it seem I don't want to make it seem that like I'm trying to downplay what you did.
No.
Okay, I just want to make sure that that
I get everything that I get everything that you're saying. With them, man, the reason I don't really be touching base on them because I like to let them speak for themselves. But I am extremely proud of them. So we can go back to that. But that's why like a lot of those things I be kind of speaking on me because I like to speak for me and only me because they're grown now. So. I'm barely, like, my sister went to Kent State. Now she's currently going to Clark State. You know what I mean? She made that decision on her own. But, you know what I'm saying? We're all trying to, like, find ourselves and what we want to do. And I'm extremely proud of them because they made adult decisions at a young age that when I was a kid, I might wanted to do, but I didn't do because this is what society taught me that life goes. You go to college, you go to, when I was young, I wish I would have stayed home for 4 years and just stacked my cheese. I mean, really, I didn't go to school to come out with a whole bunch of debt or anything, but I mean, I wouldn't ever had to collect any either.
That's also interesting though about like, you saying, you don't really want to talk for them because they're adults as well, so they can have their own answer. Mm. So I feel like for everyone who's out there, especially like parents or families or friends, like please be open to that expression, just because like your siblings, your family members, your whatever also has a voice. So you constantly talking about them or what they do isn't maybe necessarily how they want to be portrayed. So I actually very commend you for that because that actually surprised me. Going into question number 4, how is your personal relationship with yourself? I feel as black men, we carry so much, but we choose to forget like our own being. Like we choose to forget we're human. Like we're just taught to just be an athlete, a rapper, or whatever. So like when you are closing the door and you're by yourself, how do you treat yourself? How do you?
I treat myself with a lot of love because I feel like I never received it how I give it. With relationships, even with girls, like I never felt like I received what I wanted. Like, yeah, I might have been doing what they wanted or whatever, but like, what do I want to do? Like, Kawambee likes to just chill in the house and be peaceful because I do a lot for the community. I do a lot of running up and down the highway, doing a lot of busy stuff. So when I'm home alone, I like to kind of just enjoy peace. Like, just enjoy, maybe I might, watch Wildin' Out, or I like watching rap battles. URL, bruh. Arsenal, my favorite rapper. He be getting to it. And Surf, Tsunami. I like New Jersey. But yeah, just like doing different stuff like that. I might play the game. I might go talk to my sister about school, or my brother, or joke around my mom, or have a conversation with my dad about life. But I don't know. Even when I'm in the house by myself, or just at my whatever crib, dolo, it's just like I just try to enjoy life just peacefully. I might go outside and just look at nature for 30 minutes, you know what I mean? Like, I don't do anything too crazy, but I'm not a big partier. Just because of the losses that I've had in my family, I feel like I can't be anywhere where I can put myself at harm's risk, because I do a lot for a lot of people, and I need people that value me like that too. That was another thing too, because a lot of people don't value you like that if they don't really know who you are, what you bring to the table. And I learned that with relationship too. A lot of people, when you are not around people that know who you are, you'll lose value of who you are too.
Jeez, wow. So like I love that last part of the answer, and I feel like something that we have to understand more as people is being at peace with ourselves. So because like I'm a truck driver Monday through Friday. Like, I've never been or felt more alone in my life. Like, because I guess I was just never comfortable with my thoughts. Like, yeah. I'm a very sociable person. I'm a huge extrovert. But, like, when I'm alone, I'm like...
Is this the first time you've been alone? Like doing the truck driving, you think, in your life? Like,
yeah, yes. I never understood it. I'd be
this
like...
ain't my first time, brother. That's what I'm saying.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I get it. But, like, for me, because, like, I always put myself around people because, like, when I'm by myself, my mind is like, you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to do this. But now I'm at the place where it's like, okay, I can focus on this for a day. I can do this for 5 minutes. Like, I don't have to always... put myself in positions where I'm busy, like, and I feel like that's because I wanted to distract myself from what life actually was. So like now that I understand, like, peace is actually kind of cool. Like I don't have to always want to do something. So I think that's just something I appreciate.
Sports give you that little dibble and dabble. Like sports gave me that, like, this is what life is, but I don't really want this, and this. So, like, when I went home, it was more like even when I was in school, like, I had, like, my dorm or whatever. Like, I had an apartment my first year. I had a roommate, he got kicked out of school. So then I had the apartment to myself. So I was isolated, like, right off. That was terrible. I was crying, like, the first 2-3 nights, being honest, as a man. Like, I was like, this is life. Like,
bro, I was crying too in that truck, bro. I was crying driving, here, bro.
Like, my dad ain't, like, what's going to happen?
Bro.
Like,
I miss home.
Like, yeah, this is life, like, really for me. Like, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
And then I went from there, and then I went to Indy. I was in Piqua, Ohio, and I went from Piqua, Ohio to Kalamazoo, Michigan, and I went from Kalamazoo, Michigan to Indiana. So like I learned, but I had to next year I learned new people, and it was all over again. So I had to, kind of learn about life and how you got to rebuild your name and people know you, from different cities, and I had to learn all that over again. So it was definitely a culture shock, but it grew me into a man for sure. So.
Going into the last question. So I think I said at the beginning I had 6. I only have 5, so I didn't mean to lie at all. I just think I don't think I couldn't, like, when I create questions, I try not to overbear stuff. Yeah. So like if I could have 5 good solid ones, I'd rather just have 5 good solid ones. So the last question, because life is somewhat stagnant, do you feel like you're currently progressing, or is this your season where you are supposed to stay where you are?
Ooh, I don't think my life's stagnant, man, because I think I'm doing a lot. But in the realm of just sport, like, you know what I mean?
No, not with sports. I think this is more like when I say like life is stagnant, it's because like I feel like everyone in life currently is kind of like they're stuck in between stuff. Yeah. And that's what I mean by stagnant. So I wasn't trying to be like... No, we're good. Like, you're not doing nothing in life.
No, I'm just saying as far as like, just as far as... I was just seeing it from a different...
Okay. No, I mean, so what perspective were you seeing it from?
I was just thinking what I was telling you, just as far as the I thought you was coming at me in more of like it's just like the not playing like baseball crap. Oh no, like everything else. I know you weren't saying doing nothing in life.
I promise I was not coming at you like that, bro.
Okay, but I don't really. I don't know. I don't really see it in a way, man. I just try to kind of stay busy, kind of stay locked in with my what I want to do next. I think I'm in a season now of my whys, like why I shouldn't be here, why I'm not in this relationship, why I don't talk to this person, like why this job, So I'm learning a lot about myself right now. Is like what works for me and what doesn't work for me. What relationships are good for me, what's not. Even like girls, like regular relationships, like anything. Like I'm just learning a lot about myself. That's like what I like to do. You know what I'm saying? Like what works for me, where I want to be at. Like I don't want to be at the bar or the club all the time. I never went to the bar and the club when I was playing. Like So now, even though I'm not playing anymore, it's just still not my vibe because I go to the gym on a Saturday. Like I just went to the gym before I came here. Like that's my regular routine. Normally we play basketball after this or something. I might hoop with y'all. I might go home, do some yoga, stretch out, lay it down, watch TV, like watch ESPN for the rest of the day. Like I'm just kicking it. But my day stays the same though. Like I'm waking up in the morning or late at night on a Friday, I'm going to the gym. I'm not going to the bar drinking 10, 11 shots. Like that's just not me. So I try to kind of keep the same consistency that I did when whatever my life was at the most lavish, I guess. But I think life is very great right now.
And you can definitely answer this how you want to, just because like I know our conversation off camera, but because you said it a lot this entire podcast, but like you keep bringing up relationship with women, so please help me understand where you are with that. How do you view it? You don't have to talk about X, Y, and Z.
Yeah, absolutely.
So like,
we got a great relationship though. I ain't going.
No, I'm not even trying to like like bash the person, whatever. But like how you view women in relationships now. Obviously, like you keep saying like that's maybe not be your
women
focus.
In general, I mean, I feel like right now, man, for me,
because everyone wants love at the end of the day, or is that not? Oh yeah, go ahead, answer.
Nah, man, I think. Everybody does want love at the end of the day, man, but I think it runs out. I don't think it never lasts because it's just like it's life, man. There's a lot of stuff that comes into factor and it comes into play.
You think most of not most of relationships, but do you think relationships are supposed to be temporary?
I don't think they're supposed to be temporary, but I feel like in this society, like
we make it temporary.
Yeah, it's like a temporary thing. Like it's like dandelions and roses all the time. Like when it's hard, like everybody gonna flake out. I think just our generation, like so used to just
that's facts.
And I think it's not like ever gonna be a, you know what I mean. And it could be like it ain't gotta be cheating. It ain't gotta be nothing. I think like anything that happens, like somebody's going to check out eventually.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, I just feel that way.
I think that's where, because like people say hookup culture is only our generation. Everyone's been hooking up, bro. Like let's not lie.
Even back in the day.
But because we make it more, not necessarily normal, it's more available.
Yeah.
That we look at love differently. So is that why you look at it differently? Is because of how we perceive or how we give or how relationships are in today? Is because of how
from this last relationship, I would say she taught me that both sides. Like she taught me how you think everything, like I thought something was going to go wrong and I kind of not sabotaged it, but it was in a way of there's no way this is this good. You know what I mean? There's no way that this is like everything's going how it is. Like you're not cheating on, you know what I mean? I was so used to that toxicity of relationship going in, and her as well. I think we kind of sabotaged it in a way. Like, and that's the thing that kind of scares me is like when you get into a relationship with the next person, like I'll never, like that's why you'll
never know in a sense.
Yeah,
that's so interesting because because
that's why I'm scared of relationships now. I don't think I ever get another relationship, honestly.
Ever?
Nah.
Like marriage, nothing. I'm not like I don't want. I'm obviously not going to.
Nah, because this last relationship I thought I found my person. So like I just don't really. I don't know. As of right now, nah, I ain't. Nah. And as of right now, I don't know. I might find somebody but everybody keeps saying that, but like, nah.
Because I think
not with this one. Shorty was different.
I think you have to be in a certain mindset to want and receive love. But I think where people get to that point where they find a person or, their person is in a season of, maybe figuring themselves out. Because I feel like one of the main reasons why I'm not there yet or want to be there yet is because I haven't figured myself out. I'm just now getting to the point where I understand peace. Yeah. Like if I was in a relationship and I had something I didn't like, girl, you better stop doing that because that stuff is stupid.
Did you learn that from like something happening to you?
Like peace or something, or like what?
Like not even like, did you learn it from like a situation making you peaceful, or did you learn it from like in a relationship and then you was like, I didn't, you know what I'm saying? I got to do X, Y, and Z to improve myself. You see what I'm saying?
Are you saying?
Did you learn it from an experience like? Something traumatic happened in your life, like not even a relationship, just something.
Are you talking about peace in general?
Yeah, you finding your peace. Yeah.
As a man. Most of it came from expectation. So like my family, like when we all grew up and all that stuff, it was all great. It was all, like you said, dandelion and roses. But then when we became as adults, we don't know how to talk to each other. So because you're one who wants to maybe not save, but you want to help the community. I want to save my family because we didn't communicate. So I exhausted myself trying to be like, hey, we should do this. Hey, what are you? X, Y, and Z. Yeah. And then I got tired. So where peace came was like, I have to not allow myself to have the expectation on their reality. Like if you're doing something that you want to do, I shouldn't be like, nah, bro, you shouldn't do that because then that's
what happens. A lot of people be like, yeah, you ain't supposed to be doing this because of such and such, or this is what your belief is. Right. I think that's what kind of tied into it. Right. Like, you know what I mean? Like I wanted to do something else, and you know what I'm saying, it was interfering with how, you know what I mean. And that's even with people. Like I'm learning that too. Like it's okay with you doing stuff your way, even though they're not seeing it.
But again, it goes back to their expectations. So I had an expectation on my family, and I'm like, bruh, y'all are not doing this and X, Y, and Z. Yeah. But if they're happy with their life, who am I to say you're doing it wrong? They don't make no dang sense. Yeah. So when I came, like my peace came from that. It's like, okay, they're living their life. I can live my life. So that's where it came from. But other than that, people, that was the last question of today. Yes, do you have any questions that you want to ask?
Man, who the next person you having on here, man? Because you got some legendary ones. Like Danny was today, me. Who's next, man? This is amazing.
I don't have anyone next right now. Okay. I'm really like it. Like people don't actually know how tough it is just to get people to do these. Because, like, first of all, I live further from everybody. Yeah. But because I don't want to take my equipment everywhere, like, I just don't trust everywhere. So I always ask people to come to where I'm at. So, like, it's very hard as far as that. But I would like to do I really want to do Mike Wallace.
Mike Wall. That's a legendary one, too, man.
Just because, like...
I got somebody for you, though, that I recommend. Yeah. I got two, but... One that I really want on here, man, he talks a lot, though, but my guy Smiley, you got to get Smiley on here.
Smiley, bro.
He's been through a lot, man. He got a great story.
Me and Smiley, we don't have beef, but I'm not saying like beef like we hate each other, but like we always, I feel like me and Smiley always have like that competition of who can be the more happy in, you know, like around each other. So it's like, bro, I'm always trying to out happy Smiley. So
that's tough because that's his name, man.
He literally beats me every single time.
He gets to it. He a happy guy, man.
But but Mike Wallace and Deshaun are the people I want to get on here.
Jack, yeah. Them two guys, man. I want Deshaun to tell a story, and Mike Wall. Mike Wall got a crazy story too, man.
Yeah, I can't wait to know it and understand it. Brother. But other than that, guys, thank you for watching another episode of NOIZ.I Talks with Friends. It is me, your host, NOIZ.I, and
Kawambee Moss, man. SODD, man.
And we are out of here.
We out.
The racial aspect of it, like, I didn't really get much. I didn't really experience it that much, which was odd.
Do you feel like you adapted to their culture?
I feel like I did. I feel like I did adapt to it a bit.